Welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you all the buttons and switches on the AV-42C. So the AV-42C is the first vehicle in the game that got implemented. So basically this is what the game was all about. So we will start on the engine, so like on this block. Then we will move on to this block and then the middle section. So if you probably know this, so you can skip around until you see whatever you're looking for. So we start with turning on the main battery and the APU. I'm gonna wait a bit till the APU spools up. The APU is generating electricity for you. So we wait on, and now we can start both engines. Now see the engine starting. Okay. Now we have brake lock. So you're holding the throttle and you press the index finger, you're activating the wheel brakes. See there the red font saying brake lock? That means you're basically holding the brake the whole time. So we can deactivate that one and hold this brake and it would still stop. Now once we let go of the throttle, we will move slowly forward if the engines are tilted. So yeah, if you don't want to roll around, just turn on the brake lock and it will brake for you. Then we have doors. If you're trying to get passengers in, you have to open the doors. They will then walk towards you and get in on the passenger seats. Yeah, comms is for multiplayer. So team, only your teammates will hear you. Global, even enemy players will hear you. Hot mic is, it would transmit everything I say. Then push to talk is only if you hold the joystick and press the lower button to talk. Like the upper, on index, the upper button is for switching weapons. The lower button is for push to talk. Or you can hold your neck and push the button to push to talk. But this one is quite crappy because you have to let go of the control, so always use this push to talk. Then you can select the volume of the others talking and the ground shit, the announcer and whatever. And here we have fuel dump. If you're heavy, have way too much fuel, whatever reason, you can turn this switch on and now we are dropping fuel. Yeah. Let's move on to the left. So we have the G limiter. The G limiter is actually trying to hinder you from doing sharp turns, because this would, on the one side, put heavy gravity forces onto your pilot and on the plane. So when you're doing a hard turn, the G limiter is limiting the input to the tilting up and down and shit to the aircraft to not damage the aircraft and you. Because if you turn it off and you're really fast and you turn it up too fast, you can actually, on 11 Gs I think, the wings will rip off and you will just die. So if you're unexperienced, let it on, but the more experience you get, you can turn it off, because you then have sharper controls. We are blacking out slowly now. But yeah, you have harder controls over the aircraft. So you can avoid radar missiles and normal missiles more easily without the G limiter. But you run into danger of destroying your aircraft on your own. So yeah, just pull your aircraft gently when disabling the G limiter. And we have auto trim, which is, I'm not pretty sure what this one does. I think it's when hovering. Like, by the way, if you hold the throttle and then press up and down on the stick, you will go into hover mode. Hover mode, this icon will appear, which is showing you on which direction you're going. So we are flying into this direction right now. So this bar going upwards shows us from like top view we are moving in the front direction. We are waiting a bit till we are 0 speed. Actually, let's go like this. Bit more. Like this. So now you see this, the bar is getting smaller. And now it's going to the left. So we are flying behind us right now. We're going 50 knots into this direction. We now turn around. The front again. Like that. Now we're moving into this direction again. Yeah. That's that icon if you wonder. You can also turn on the hover mode. Now it will try to balance you to stay into the air. And then press altitude. You get this little handy icon. If you pull it upwards, it will gain, I think it is 15 feet per second of height. Or if you lower it to 0, your throttle, it will go descend on a steady minus 15 feet per second, or I think this one is per minute probably. I'm not sure though. So yeah, if you hold in the middle like that, you will just hover in the air while holding your position on the X and Z coordinates, and your Y coordinate, which is the height, will also try to stabilize as good as possible. So we're basically staying still in the air right now. Not exactly as you can see, but pretty much. So yeah, I think auto pitch. I'm not sure about this one. Just leave it on pitch. Then we have the SAS. The SAS is your flight assist basically. So you see when I'm turning a bit to the left, it's going slow and gentle. If I turn the flight assist off, it's still going like that. This is a terrible example. So let's take the roll as an example. Gain some speed so we don't stall. So if I'm rolling, come on. So I pull it right now. I'm confused what this one does. Oh sure. Yeah, you see rolling. I'm rolling about this speed, and if I turn off, oh the flight assist was off. That's why the controller's worried. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm rolling at this speed without flight assist. If I turn it on, way more stable. See, slower and more controlled. I'm pulling up. It's all stable and smooth. If you turn it off, you see it's janky. It doesn't really figure out. It's just weird and hard to control. So I'll leave that one on. I sometimes use it on off. Like when a radar missile is coming in and I want to do a hard pull upwards, I can turn it off and do like this. Do a quick up movement to avoid the missile. Yeah, then we have the reaction control system. If you're slow, you can hear it actually. A bit. Yeah, you hear it? These are small thrusters on the side that are helping us to steer when not having much speed. So once we are hovering, on. On. Okay. So we're hovering now. So our speed is now pretty much 0. And usually you move around by the wind, the air that is moving past you, and then you flap the flaps to one side and it will rotate your aircraft. So on this vehicle, this works a bit different because if we're staying still in the air, there's no wind or air moving around us to move around. So I have more thrusters, which you can activate with the reaction control system. On off, you see I can't turn left and right because well, the flaps won't do anything if there's no air getting behind them. I can pretty much do nothing right now. If I turn the reaction control system on automatic, now we can use thrusters on the side, move around. Yeah. If you turn it on, it will always be on, even on high speeds and shit. But this would just increase your fuel consumption, so leave it to automatic. Right, then we have the RVR. So the RVR is detecting whatever radar signature is coming towards you. So if there's a radar behind you and it's shooting its waves towards you, you will get a ping on your RWR. And you will constantly get like a ding, ding sound. You can turn it off silent, so you will no more get notifications about it. Or even off if you're no clue why the fuck you would put it off. Put it on silent if it's bugging you. Watch out because you don't hear like, I don't think you hear like missile launch and when someone's locking you, so just keep it on. Yeah. And we have the fuel port. Fuel port is, I think, this one. Was it on the F-26? Or was it above us? I'm not sure. Well, if you're doing air-to-air refueling with this one, it only works if you open your fuel port. Oh yeah, it is this. Okay, so the probe of the tanker has to go in there to really refuel your tank. So yeah. Yeah, let's move on. So we have, this one is for visor and night vision. So you see, when I look out a window, I don't know what speed I am or height. So if I press this button, I can now see the speed and the height. Because now I have like glasses in front of my face that projecting these numbers to my head. So it is the visor. If you press night vision, this is for night missions. So you can see the night. Instead of pressing these buttons, you can also tap on your left ear or your right ear or in the middle of your forehead for the night vision gear. Okay, then we have the screens. Turn them on, the knob on the lower left. And there you can select whatever you want. But that's way too much to explain. So yeah, we won't do that now. So this is a collector for tilting the engines. Yeah, forward, you see autopilot disengaged. Engine is going forward to fly more like a normal jet, or tilting it backwards to go into the hover mode. And if you hold the grip and press the index finger, you see brake. But you maybe think like brake is only for the wheels. Actually, these brakes is also on top of it. See, like a shield is coming out to help you brake into the air, because you get more air resistance, so you will even brake in the air. Yeah, we have some indicators like I think missile warning and some different things. Yeah, these are just for warnings. I don't know what's standing behind there. Yeah, can't remember. Okay, this is MFD brightness, so if you're having a night vision gear. These are actually too bright to read properly. Then turn down the brightness to read them again. Now we have the RWR screen there, which shows you any radar pinging you and any incoming missile. The 3 main screens. The fuel screen, which are on and off. Info is showing you fuel drain, time, distance, and the TWR. You may wonder what the TWR is. It's a thrust weight, so if it's above 1, you can hover like we are doing now. If it would be 0.99, we would fall towards the ground, because we would increase only 99% of the thrust we need to push up the weight we have. So now we have 1.5, that means we could even be 50% more heavy and still hover on the same spot. Well, we wouldn't be able to rise. We would be able to stay in the spot basically. It is like how much thrust the engine can produce versus how much we weigh. So yeah, always try to keep that as high as possible. Yeah, on top we have the lights of strobe. Are the white and red lights on your wings, and the landing light on a button that will activate once you activate the landing gear. You only really need this one on night missions. Alright, I forget this one. Okay, so forget this one too. So this is flares. If you only want to fire chaff, chaff is for radar missiles. And flares are for heat-seeking missiles, so you can turn them individually on or off with this panel. Yeah, when landing, obviously here's landing gear. Yellow means still descending, green means ready for landing. Same before going up. Then you have launch bar and hook. Launch bar is a bit of a metal in front there, which will hook into the catapult. So when you're taking off of an aircraft carrier, deploy that one, so you can hook on the catapult and it will launch you. For the hook is placed on the rear of the aircraft. It is, as it says, just a hook. So you deploy the hook, it will go down, and now if you land on an aircraft carrier, I think this one is, you have to catch the wire with the hook. So the hook goes into the wire, grabs on it, and then this is what breaking you. If you don't do this, you will probably crash. Flaps are on the sides of the wings. So flaps 0 means they are like the normal wing, but flaps 2 means they will go down a bit. And what they do is they give you more upwards lift to the cost of more drag. So if you put them to 2, you get a bit of drag while flying towards. You get more drag while flying towards, but the drag will, because the wings are like this, the air will go against them, pushing you up, and the air will go down. So you can gain height while still flying in the same direction. This is useful for carrier landing, because this lowers your minimum speed you have to not stall. So when doing a carrier landing, make sure to that flaps to 2. Yeah, so we had this part. No, we hadn't. Declutter shows you less information on your HUD. Brightness is brightness of the HUD. HUD tint doesn't really have any function. Only when you fly towards the sun or moon in night missions. Clear waypoint if you have a waypoint like this. You can clear the waypoint, go remove it, and also remove the guidance towards the waypoint. Yep. Then we have master warnings. For example, that one should trigger one. Yeah, so you can press that one, and the fuel dump voice message will stop. Then we have the altitude mode. There are 2. We have the RDR mode, which stands for radar, so it's basically just shooting radar waves below you and then measuring how long they need to come back, and then it knows the distance between you and the ground. So this is the radar mode. We set it to ASL, it means above sea level, so it measures the height of view between you and the sea, which is never changing. So like if you fly 1 meter above that mountain, the sea level would be the same. But if you switch to radar, it should show like 3 feet or whatever. So yeah, I prefer radar, so I see how close I am to the ground. Yeah, that is HUD power, and here HMCS power, which is the visor on your head. Again, we have the autopilot, turning it off. Hover mode, like I explained, standing still in the air. Altitude mode for going up and down, and heading to maintain. If you're in normal flight, you can activate the heading. It will fly towards, for example, this. Right now we are flying towards 183 degrees, so it will always fly towards 183. And nav will fly towards the waypoint. If you have a waypoint, you can just press nav, and the helicopter will fly towards the waypoint for you. That should be it. This is an indicator for our afterburner. If this one blinks, it means you're wasting a lot of fuel. Okay, once the afterburner goes on, the fuel is increasing a large amount. 140 it should be. Slowly increasing to 140, I think. That bar there is like the afterburner. So you see no afterburner right now. And now we are afterburner. So the afterburner is burning like way more fuel, but also giving you a bit more power. So avoid it whenever possible. Yeah, we had that part. So let's come to the master arm. Notice for enabling weapons. Obviously. If you push that one down, you will automatically deactivate the master arm. So, yeah, you have to hold the red cover up on top. Now with the jettison system, you maybe wonder what jettison is. It just means to get rid of your weapons. So you can go to the whip, like that. Then you can set the mode to jettison, and now you can select your weapons. I want to get rid of these hydras there, so I select them to jettison. And then I can press the big button covered by this one. I press it now. You see we just got rid of our hydras. So you can also use these three buttons. So none will deselect everything you have jettison. Empty will only trigger empty weapon systems. See, this is empty now, so we can just select empty and we'll deploy the empty weapon rack. And with all, it will select everything. See, the minigun here isn't selecting because this is built into the plane. We can't drop that because we'd have like a giant hole in the airplane then. So yeah, that's the jettison system. I think that's it. Oh, this grip. Never noticed that grip. I think it's new. Right on here we have internal lights, instruments for night missions, and cockpit light. Should be there. It is. We also have bay, which has no real function besides giving light to the AI passengers. So that should be it, I think. Anything special about here? Well, the fire button. Push to talk on the lower button, and this is for adjusting your joystick. Right, same as for this one with length and height. And this is for the seat. And now I think we should have everything. Yeah, if you really stick so long with this video. Actually, I don't know why you should do that. The AV-42 isn't really popular in the game. It's well, it's really old. First airplane in the game. It's not really fun to steer because it's just a giant piece of metal in the sky with no real wingspan or shit. The hover mode is cool, but also makes you an easy target, so yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, see you around. Goodbye.
Autopilot disengaged.